Since that time, I've been under a curse. The curse of the undead.
Welcome back to Dark Corners Streaming. The Vampire's Ghost, which you can find on YouTube, was made by renowned low-budget production company Republic, who always managed to sneak out a few hidden gems amongst their B-movie output. Hidden gem might be a little bit much to describe The Vampire's Ghost, but it's an interesting take on vampire mythology.
Shall we start at dawn?
Mixing European traditions with African witchcraft and voodoo. But most original is what it does with its stock characters. John Abbott's centuries-old vampire Webb Fallon is far from a cliché, neither a hissing monster nor a charismatic lady killer. He's a decent chap.
You're one of the nicest people I've ever known.
There is a world weariness about him. He didn't want this. It is a curse, but he's making the best of a bad situation.
You're seeing a creature that doesn't exist.
Which unfortunately means others have to die. He is a pragmatic vampire, which I rather like.
I cannot die. I live on and on to destroy peace and happiness.
I also like the fact that handsome hero Roy Hendrick is placed under the vampire's control.
Your mind belongs to me, from now until the day you die.
He does not become a wide-eyed acolyte like Renfield. He does not forget all he has seen. He remains aware of what Fallon is, but is unable to tell anyone or move against his new master.
Well, why don't you speak up?
This sort of servile emasculation of the romantic lead is pretty rare and very effective. Vampires often have a seductive power over women, but Roy can only watch as Fallon targets his fiancée, unable to act, unable to speak, completely impotent. And that is a different kind of horror.
That's why you've been coming here, to be with her.
I do wonder how much of that comes from the fact that this was co-written by the great Lee Brackett in her film debut, a year before she began her long association with Howard Hawks.
What a terrible thing. To worship death.
I must also mention that fiancée Julie is played by Peggy Stewart, relatively early into an extraordinary 75-year career. The film isn't perfect, it is of course dirt cheap, and modern viewers are bound to struggle with its colonial attitudes and stereotypical natives.
Bullet come from front over there. Bullet hit top. Same bullet.
Who of course always know what's going on.
Vampire.
That said, it's the natives who save the day, using the talking drums which tie the film together to some extent. So, as with the European influences, it's cliched, but they're using the cliches in novel ways, which I do think is worth something.
The curse of the undead.
Because of the budget and short schedule, you don't expect these films to leap off the screen, but prolific director Leslie Salander already had enough B-movies behind him to know how to make room for memorable moments. A dog's reaction to the entry of the vampire feels an almost Hitchcockian detail. Fallon's dockside bar, and incidentally, how many vampires run a bar, has a down-at-heel atmosphere. Arlen Roberts' dance adds a frisson of exotic sexuality. And the vampire baptism using the earth of his own grave is a wonderful inversion of Christian ritual. These little moments, combined with the originality of the plot, don't make The Vampire's Ghost a masterpiece, but if you thought there was nothing new that could be done with vampires, think again. At less than an hour long, it's well worth your time. Thanks for watching. Have you seen The Vampire's Ghost? What other B-movie gems are out there waiting to be rediscovered? Let us know in the comments below.